Hi guys, welcome to the new episode. Received some good feedback for the first video. Everybody is excited to watch new episodes, so I will try today to at least install the Sage theme, explain some bits about WordPress theme structure, and also we're going to compare the regular WordPress theme with the Sage starter theme, and also explain what is starter theme in any way. So basically this is a way to save a lot of developer hours when doing project for the clients. So Sage provide us with bunch of already defined layouts, code for getting the single post page, archive, all the good stuff we need to make a custom WordPress theme. So we will be looking now how to install Sage, how to set up development environment to actually work on Sage itself, how to install WordPress, and so let's get started. When you go to the Sage documentation, there is an installation section where you can learn how to start. Basically, all what you need is Node. You probably already have it if you're a developer. You also would need Composer, which is a dependency manager for PHP. For WordPress guys here, you will need VLS or Windows Subsystem for Linux installed on your computer, and actually install Sage and WordPress there because it uses some advanced stuff which are not available in the Windows itself. So we need Linux background system to be able to work and create theme using Sage. So I could go through all of these with you, but I think installation instruction are far better explain everything than me. So you don't need Volta. You can already, if you already have Node, you can just skip this. You probably already have Yarn, but if not, install it. We will also need Acor for the Sage, so you can check the Acor instruction as well, how to install it. Basically, you need a composer require roots Acor, so we will do that once we install the Sage theme. So to get started, we can basically make a new site. I have on my Mac system Laravel Wallet as local development system, but you can use either Docker or local by Flywheel or something else, whatever you prefer. I'm not saying you need to use Laravel Wallet. So we will install Sage now. So let's get started. First thing, we will need to make a new WordPress site. So when using a Laravel wallet, I have a nice command to create new WordPress site, which is WP wallet. And now you enter the name of the site. So we will call it Spark. It is installing. It only should take like a few seconds to install everything. It asks here for the password, or you can use sorry about that. once this is completed, in a few seconds, we basically have a new WordPress site ready to do some work on it. So we will just funny, it's taking way way longer than usual when I'm recording, but okay, so we have a new site ready, Spark test, which we can then go to. And as you can see, we are having new WordPress site here, which we can log in. The username and password default for is admin, but of course you can change that to anything you like. So we have new site. It has only the default WordPress theme there. So we are now going to use the command line to install the Sage theme. We need to go to the site we installed now. So I enter the folder for the site. Now I will go to the WP content. I will go to the themes subfolder, and as you can see, there are now only WordPress default themes. We will now use the command from Sage. So we can copy this. We will paste it, and then we can change the theme name to whatever you want. I will call it Spark to be same as the folder, but it can be anything. This dev main line mean that we will going to pick the latest Sage version, which might not be the same as release version. So Sage is constantly developing, it's updating, but it's not meant to be used as a master theme. So we are not going to do some child theme and use that, but it's meant to be modified and molded to whatever you want. So I'm going to press enter, and then it will install Sage. Once we install Sage, we need to build the styles, scripts, and everything else. So assets. We need to run yarn or npm install, whatever you prefer, to install any dependencies. Update bad config with your local development URL, and then run yarn build. So we can do all this. Sorry, CD Spark, and then I will run my IDE. So I'm using PHP Storm, but you can use any code editor really. It's just a matter of developer preferences and everything. I really enjoy PHP Storm. I use it for several years now, and it makes my life much easier. So, but if you are using VS Code or anything else, don't worry. It's just personal preferences. PHP Storm offers some great tools to make your life easier, but you don't need to use it if you don't want. So PHP Storm is clever enough to understand that this is a new project, that we need to install dependency and everything. So I will just click here, run yarn install. But if you are not using PHP Storm, you can just manually write here yarn install yarn, and it will do the same thing for you. So while we are waiting this to install, I can explain some files that we need to modify in order to work on the theme. So we need to first configure bad config files, which is basically a settings for assets manager. You will see now that that we will change some stuff here. Later we will go more through this file to explain what it does, how it handles some stuff. But right now, just to start, we need these few lines changed. So under public path, we need to rename themes to this public path to WP content. Themes, and now we're gonna change the theme name to match the one we added. And we also need to change here. So this will be a live preview of when we are modifying something. It will show here live. For example, if you change background color or anything, it will have live preview on this localhost 3000 to demonstrate what are you changing, and you could fast develop CSS changes. We will go through this later. Don't worry about this. So you only need to change this set proxy URL to whatever website domain you have locally to develop. And then there are some other options, but we can leave it like this for now. This is the most important what we should do. Right now, we can run the command from the instruction. So we can now run yarn build to build the actual code. So PHP Storm also have nice way to actually run this, but for the tutorial purpose, I will run it manually. So yarn build, and it will build all the asset and everything using the code we gave them. So right now, if I go to another refresh of the themes, we can see now we have Sage Starter Theme. Great, but we don't want to call it like that. So we can change this in style CSS file, which is WordPress default file for the information about theme. So we can call it whatever you like here. So I will call it Spark because the theme itself is going to be used for the Figma design I have. So the company name is Spark, so I call the theme Spark. You can call it whatever you like. Text domain, we can leave it Sage. It's basically for translation and everything. Not sure we are actually going to go through translation and everything in this tutorial series, but maybe later, if there will be enough requests for this, I could add it at the end of this series, how to translate theme, how to make it multilingual. So we save this and we run yarn build again to pick up the new name, and once we refresh again themes, you can see now that our theme is called Spark and we can activate it. So now this is what I was talking about, the Acor. You need to install Acor to use the theme. So what we need to do? We need to do this composer require roots Acor. We can run this inside our theme, or we can install Acor as a plugin. Both paths are valid and both paths will work. For the sake of this tutorial and easier approach, I will just do the install inside the theme. So it's basically just use Composer to require some PHP library which will enable Sage to work properly. So once we do this, it will work. So if we refresh now, you will see that the error will be gone, and we are now able to actively use this theme, develop, and whatever. So this is super nice layout we have after we have done it. So what is now different between starter theme and some premium theme you buy at theme shops where Envato or whatever you use, Gaia, Theme Forest. So this is only the base skeleton of the theme, so you can now modify it to however you like. There is nothing stopping you to add whatever elements you want, and also there is nothing extra here, so the theme itself is super clean. The only code there is the actual code it needs to use to run the site. Okay, we have our theme set up. We have our renamed start CSS file. You can change whatever you like here later if you want, but let's get to know Sage theme and compare it to this automatic _s theme, which is basically starter theme on the old way, how I call it. So I used this theme before I discovered Sage and understood why Sage is better. So I'm hoping to give you a brief explanation difference in Sage theme and regular theme, starter theme. So in Sage theme we have this app folder. It's a brain of our theme. Here we can set up whatever we need to have available under any template. We can set up components, which we will later show you when we will be doing the theme itself. I can show you a few components to understand how they work, why they are awesome. But for now, let's open the file app.php. So basically, this gives us a nice public function we can use in the templates, and also post.php, which give us in these views. We will later come to explain everything. I'm just giving a brief overview how this works. So we have this title, which will return this title. And depending on what page you are, it will return different titles. So this function is used in all the views, like page or the partial content. You can see it's calling for the title. This variable title is coming from this post file, which does return variable title as a function. So also we have node models, which is self-explanatory. So for styling, scripts, styles, whatever, we need node models. Public folder is the public endpoint for the CSS and JavaScript. So once we run yarn build, it will build those CSS, minify, make it browser accessible for multiple browsers. It will do all a bunch of stuff for us. Same goes for editor, which is now empty. This is basically for the WordPress Gutenberg editor. We can add some style for the editor itself. And also we have JavaScript folder, which is also for the app, editor, and some other models we need. This enter point is basically, it will use this file to enqueue all the files we need. And manifest is the same. So editor CSS will be called editor 31df. What is this? Because when we change the theme, TSS can be cached. So with this way, every time you run build, it will add another name and it will break cache, and users will always see the latest TSS and script if there's anything newer or not. Now, under resources, this is where we will be spending most of our time when doing Sage theme editing. So you have fonts, images, scripts, stars, and views. In style, you have app TSS, which is for the front end, and editor TSS for the back end. As you can see in the front end, the Tailwind is already included, but if you don't like Tailwind, you can simply delete this and add whatever you like here. It's not mandatory, it's not required. The developer of Sage theme just think the same way as I do, that Tailwind is super for fast developing of either components or blocks or sections, and it also, you can use SCSS. We will add it later here on this theme, and so nothing stopping you to use whatever you want. It's just nice defaults that they included. Okay, now under the views, we have PHP Blade views with different sections and layouts. We will explain this later. Maybe just as a base understanding, this layout app is basically the wrapper for our entire team. So anything we do will be under this file, and then this file will call any other file. We can later add new layouts if we want. Not sure that we will need another layout file right now, but it is possible to have multiple layout files. Consider this some kind of skeleton for the entire theme or application. So we call the section header, which will call this file, and then it will open the main div. It will this yield content. What is yield content? It means that we can add from multiple places to the same place here different content. So if we open, for example, page PHP, it will say that it extends layout app. So it uses this file, and all this stuff will be automatically included on the page. So you don't need to repeat stuff. For example, on the classic theme, if you open page, you will see that we are always doing some kind of repeating here. So we are calling sidebar, we are calling footer, we are calling header. Here you don't need to do this. For page, you only need to concentrate on the actual page content and logic. So the entire page blade PHP will be rendered just here. Everything else will be generated automatically. And same goes for a head section sidebar. So if I'm not sure if we are going like too fast. It's a blade directive for sidebar. If it has sidebar, it will yield sidebar here. But we will go through this later. This video should be like brief introduction to Sage structure and how to use Sage, and later we will go through all of these in much greater details. We will change stuff, we will break stuff. You will see how it is. So under the view we passed everything. So now we have some few files here. Git ignore, it's basically for Git. I think it's for bad config. We already passed a small part, but here you can set up your bad bud config to whatever you like. Bud is basically asset generator. We will deal with the bud later on. Composer, it's, as we already installed the Acor plugin. And there is a function, PHP, which you might be familiar on the old themes, where we enter all those add support here, add theme support, enqueue, CSS, add a different content size. Something similar is here, but not completely. So we are basically loading the composer file. We are bootstrapping the Acor. We are now fetching the files, setup and filters. Where are those files? They are under a directory. It will collect each file. For each file, it will locate the file, and it will load that template. So setup will handle all the script enqueue, team support. So setup basically like replace this function PHP there, and filters are, as its name said, filters for different WordPress filters. You can add multiple there later. Also, we will add some more files here and then modify the function later to include those. So basically all you need to do is add another file here, and it will load that file as well. And that should be more or less it for the time being. We can only go through Tailwind config, which is where you configure the Tailwind behavior. We will go through this also later when we will be styling our theme. We will spend some time here. And there is also theme JSON here, but do notice that it also said this file is generated. So do not edit it manually. It's not permitted, because it will be overwritten later. Whenever you run bud, it will read this configuration here, and it will override that file. So if you ever change this here, it will not work. It will be way it will be overwritten, and nothing will remain as soon as you run bud. Okay, that's it for now. I think this video is already quite long. We can maybe just run a demo of this theme and just change one small thing, just for you can see that it's reloading live and everything else. So I will use the PHP already built-in PHP Storm already built-in script, but you can just run yarn dev. But I can like click here, and it will run for me yarn run dev. So you can do it manually. Go to terminal and run yarn run dev, and it will do the same thing for you. And now once it's done, it will tell you it is proxying. So this is the original page we have, and this is our development page. So if I click here, it will load the localhost 3000 for us. So hi guys, sorry, I had some issues with the recording, and it didn't work properly, so I needed to restart in the middle of explaining. So we will continue. Basically, I just wanted to show you how it look like when we are changing something, removing styling and everything, how the live reload work. So I did some small change in the meantime to the bud config. I forgot to add the HTTPS to Spark test, and also HTTP need to remain on localhost. So make sure you have proxy and serve set up like this. You might have here a proxy URL or serve URL, but you can change it to proxy and serve, and it will work. Now, when we completed this change, we can run dev with either npm or yarn run dev, or you can use PHP Storm if you have it and just run dev here. So now it will run the server, and it will show you that it's running proxy of Spark test on the localhost 3000. So now when we change something in resources styles app.tss file, this is the main styling for the front end, we need to add something here. So let's be super simple. So body, background, red. Super complicated CSS rule, which we all understand. So it will make background red. And you see, as soon as I press save on that file, it will change the background to red. So let's try something else. Blue, control save, it's bam, it's uploaded. So you can see now how easy it is to style everything. So it's just a matter of clicking save, and you will automatically see the live preview of everything here. Just make sure there is nothing conflicting with the port you set here. So I set port 3000 here because I have some other stuff on different ports, and 3000 is free on my computer, but on your PC, Mac, or Linux, whatever you use, it might not be 3000. You might be using 5000 or whatever you have set up on your own computer. Just make sure it setting proxy to right address, and it's a right address, and you should see this. So this not only work on CSS, but it also work on the PHP files and Blade files. So we are now seeing latest posts archive. We see the post, welcome to WordPress. We see search bar. It's not styled, but we can see it. So for example, if I go here on index, view index, this is basically what we have here. So notice now, if I remove the sidebar here, if I delete it and press save, it automatically remove the sidebar from the page. Same go for the any other part basically. So under header, if I have some content here and save it, it will display have some content here right below the header. And that should be it for now. I think this section is already too long, and we will be using another episode to actually start styling, explain a bit more about components, and explain a bit more about Tailwind styling, and all the nice stuff. For now, we installed the Sage theme, we set up the local development environment. We have demonstrated the ability to live reload on change, and we have gone through some of the config files. We will use all of those files later again when we will be building the theme, and you will get to know better each of these files. It's just like brief overview before we actually begin to develop. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Sorry if it's too long. I didn't plan it really well. For next episode, I think It will maybe be a little shorter and more on target what I wanted to demonstrate. That is it for me for now. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next episode.